The battle to retake Port Patterson is about to begin. Our scattered forces have come together for this battle. They're few in number, but we've managed to assemble a small ground force. However, the Laysath fleet continues to gather in Port Patterson, and the presence of the Transportation Corps has also been confirmed. Having lost Puna Base, it appears Laysath now intends to shuttle in troops and supplies overseas. If any more ships dock at Port Patterson, enemy strength will become more than our ground troops can handle. In order to prevent this, we need you to launch a preliminary strike on Port Patterson. Destroy all enemy supply vessels, landing ships, and freighters. In particular, try to keep as many enemy landing ships from entering the port as possible. Battle supplies must not reach the enemy. The number of enemy landing ships inside the port will be displayed on the MPG in the upper right-hand corner of your HUD. If the MPG reaches the max level, our forces will no longer be able to retake Port Patterson. This time, a substantial enemy counterattack is to be expected. It seems the loss of Puna Base has put them on guard. Please be careful.
Griffith 1, you are cleared for takeoff. Griffith 1, altitude restrictions canceled. Return to your mission. Good luck. Crux to Griffith 1. Check your MPG on the right side of the HUD. The MPG will display the number of landing ships from the port. Please pay careful attention to the MPG during this mission. So, you're Griffith 1, huh? I'm Major Berkman, Ground Force Commander. There are landing ships within the enemy fleet. We'll lose the battle if a battalion is allowed to make it ashore. Do not allow more than 3 landing ships to enter the port. We'll be risking our necks out here with you. Let's take back Port Patterson. Huh? Wait, I've got something on radar. Put the city on high alert. I don't want to see so much of a kitten out on those streets. Just make sure that bridge is raised. Aircraft ready. Help me! He's right behind me! Enemy approaching from starboard side! Enemy ship destroyed! Guns destroyed. Griffith 1 bagged another one. How many ships are still operational? Enemy freighter destroyed. I'm not gonna let them sink us here. Your altitude is too low. Pull up.
We've succeeded in destroying the enemy fleet gathered in Port Patterson. Our ground troops scored a major victory by using the chaos caused by our attack to storm in and secure the port. We freed Port Patterson from the hands of the enemy. It's still kind of hard to believe.
The emblem of the Southern Cross. It was on that very day that the aircraft bearing the mark of the Southern Hemisphere brought about the defeat of Laysath forces. But the story barely made the news, and the army showed no apparent reaction. Almost nightly, Laysath's commanding officer, Diego Gaspar Navarro, plays host to grand banquets within Gaius Tower. This evening, he is once again proudly trumpeting the glory of his airborne fortress. I've heard the speech so many times, it feels like I wrote it. Which, in a way, is a good thing, because it lets me concentrate on enjoying the food instead. As I gazed out the window at the night sky, I felt as if even the phases of the moon were somehow at odds with those of the Northern Hemisphere. The words of a fellow reporter, who fancied himself a connoisseur of fine wine, really got me thinking about the price of the glass of wine in my hand. One glass of it is roughly equivalent to several years of a Laysathian citizen's salary. Haven't the long years of civil war left Laysath an impoverished and war-torn nation? Whatever the case, much is unclear about the flow of money in Laysath. Ever since I arrived here, I've only covered stories the military had approved. However, this particular mystery just might be worth investigating on my own. The idea was nothing more than the product of an idle mind. At least at the time.
Okay, let's get started with a report of the situation. I think our best option under the circumstances would be to head towards Santa Elva. Santa Elva is a strategic location that we have to pass through to get to the capital, Griswold. However, there are several other strategic points on the way to Santa Elva. Which points you choose and in what order you do so is up to you. It looks like your decisions will affect the course of this battle. I know it's an immense responsibility, but there's no one else to count on. We're relying on you to get us through this. It appears that the enemy's Miller unit is gathering at Kings Hill. It looks like they're trying to take back Port Patterson. I wonder what they're up to. Next, we have reports that the Allied Davis unit is cut off at Stand Canyon. Gleipnir took off from Puna Base and is currently standing by at Terminus Island. With the long strike range of the Gleipnir, there's not much our forces can do. It appears that the enemy is moving towards Stand Canyon to eliminate our remaining forces. We'll need those remaining forces in our attack on Santa Elva, so I think we should probably send help. If left alone, they'll be helpless against the aerial fortress, just like what happened to us at Cape Aubrey. Also, Santa Elva is a key location for the enemy, and I think they'll concentrate their forces there. We'll have major problems if they send in their aerial fortress. I'll give you more details once you decide on a route. Please tell me which route you plan to take. The Gleipnir is now positioned above Terminus Island. It is using the island as a resupply base and as a staging point for long-range attacks on Stand Canyon. The troops stranded at Stand Canyon are vital to the upcoming assault on Santa Elva. But they're pinned down as long as the Gleipnir's assault is allowed to continue. Something must be done about the situation, and soon. Analysis of the SWBM attack at Cape Aubrey has shown that the shock wave of the missile dissipates before reaching ground level. Hoping to utilize this weakness, the remaining Aurelian fleet has gathered for a counter-assault on the airborne fortress. We have been informed that the assault will begin as soon as we are ready. How shall we proceed, sir?
Griffith 1, you are cleared for takeoff. Griffith 1, altitude restrictions canceled. Return to your mission. Good luck.
First Fleet to Third Fleet. Any sign of the Gleipnir?
Third Fleet, no sign of it yet.
Understood. Continue your patrol of the area. What's that sound?
Look! It's the Gleipnir!
Just get out there. Attack! Target the Gleipnir!
Commence cannon fire! Hit it with everything we've got!
The SWBM can't reach us here, but watch out for conventional ordnance.
Look! The disc on the bottom is starting to move! Where's he going?
The ships under the Gleipnir just disintegrated.
What the hell was that?
Second Fleet, do you read me? This is the First Fleet. Come in! Come in!
All of those ships destroyed in instinct. Such destructive power. I can't believe they've made such a terrifying weapon. Sir, Griffith 1, it appears the enemy has some kind of new super weapon. The MPG will display damage to the Allied fleet. Protect them and keep the gauge from reaching max. I know it's a dangerous mission. We're counting on you, sir. reaches max. Destroy the SWBM before that happens. Damn, he is persistent. Shoot him down! The Gleipnir is launched an SWBM. We think it's the same as the one used at Cape Audrey. It's too dangerous to fly at high altitude. Try to stay lower than the Gleipnir. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, impact!
No special weapon fire remains.
Great job! The airborne fortress's SWPM has gone up in flames. Raise the engine output to max! We've got to escape!
We've succeeded in destroying the Gleipnir's SWBM. The surrounding area is no longer in any danger. Unfortunately, the Gleipnir escaped, but this victory has given us hope. I'm starting to feel like retaking Santa Elva is fastly becoming a reality. We have an emergency situation. The Miller unit has moved from Kings Hill for an assault on Port Patterson. They reclaim the city almost immediately. We've also confirmed the transport of supplies from the port to Santa Elva via Kings Hill. I had no idea this was in their plan. Sorry about that. On with the update. The Gleipnir has withdrawn from the combat zone and is now in Santa Elva. Furthermore, with the destruction of the Gleipnir's SWBM, long-range assaults are no longer a threat. I'll now go over the details of our mission to retake Santa Elva, a city vital to the enemy's transportation network. If we succeed in retaking the city, our capital Griswold will be within reach. It seems that the damage the Gleipnir bore from our attack over Terminus Island is now being repaired here in Santa Elva. The previous battle was proof enough of the ability of individual fighters to effectively strike at the Gleipnir, so all ground forces that run the risk of becoming a target will hold their position here. Enemy ground forces are most likely prepared for any kind of assault, but with the Gleipnir unable to fly, now is the time to strike. Even the Gleipnir wouldn't risk killing their own troops stationed at the base by firing the short-range cannon. It looks like there's no escape for them this time, sir. Port Patterson has been taken by enemy forces, and our supply route cut off. There isn't enough fuel to support an extended mission, so make it quick.
I've got Radar! The enemy! The Southern Cross is here! They're here already. Prepare the airborne fortress for takeoff! Are you crazy? Repairs aren't finished! The optical camouflage isn't working yet! I don't care! Prepare her for takeoff! Water rally and fire is hardly a threat! If that's our orders, I will take responsibility if anything should happen. What's wrong? You're beating altitude! Just responded like it should! I told you, the repairs aren't finished! Griffith 1, just as we thought, the Great Bear isn't using the shot cannon. The SWBM has already been destroyed. Now's our chance. Finish it off. It looks like we're gonna need more than conventional weapons to take the bastard down.
The Gleipnir is no more. Shortly after our victory, ground forces successfully retook Santa Elva. The Santa Elva victory is fantastic news. But even more so, the defeat of the Gleipnir is sure to boost morale and give us a strategic advantage in this war. Next, we liberate the capital Griswold. We've already come this far, sir.
Unthinkable! The chatter of the nightly parties fell into silence. In place of the sumptuous banquet, weapons to protect the capital were rolled in. Griswold is in turmoil over the shocking news, but who would have thought that underneath the chaos lay an even greater story? Aurelia's exploitation of Leysath was all a ruse. In fact, Aurelia had been Leysath's largest benefactor in aid. The truth remained hidden from the public, while any aid meant for food was spent on arms. Why did this happen? Why was a lavish party held to boast the performance of their newest weapon? The trail of money surrounding Diego Navarro would lead me to the answer. Diego Navarro is not only Leysath's commanding officer, but also controls their arms industry. He has used continued conflict as a means to amass an enormous fortune. This war was conceived as a replacement for the Civil War to further increase arms sales. I can't help but wonder how much of this truth the soldiers risking their lives for Leysath really know. The classified documents contained much more than just information on the airborne fortress. The transfer of financial revenue and commodities were also recorded in great detail. What does all of this have to do with Leysath's commanding officer Diego Navarro? Even after all that's happened, why does he still seem so naturally at ease? I've unwittingly found myself fearing for the safety of the Southern Cross.
All right, let me brief you on the main locations on the route to Griswold. Sir, please choose a route. First, remnant enemy soldiers are regrouping at the Kalana Steps and are planning an attack on Santa Elva. They currently aren't a threat, but we're curious as to what they're planning. I guess we're not much different from them in size or strength. The enemy Special Forces Skilla unit has set up camp at Sachana Air Base. They're not a squad you want to take on directly, but they're currently busy preparing to send reinforcements to the Kalana Steppes. This might be the perfect time to catch them off guard. It appears that Leysath forces are shipping supplies to a large-scale manufacturing plant in Montebriz. It seems that they're manufacturing something, but there is a large radar facility close by on Mount Nevera. The Nevera jammer is located there, and we're unable to monitor their movements. The jamming extends as far as Griswold, so we need to do something about it. Although we really need to find out what's going on at Montebriz as well. Our capital is not far ahead. However, Griswold is heavily fortified and protected by the Mezim cannon. Fierce resistance is expected, but we must pull together and take back Griswold. We are planning a surprise attack to recapture our country's largest airbase, the Sachana Airbase. The base, with its large supply warehouses, is a crucial strategic point, as well as a vital supply channel. By securing Sachana Airbase, our forces will gain a necessary staging point for a combined Allied assault on the capital. At present, the Laysath Air Force is grounded, but they're mobilizing to aid ground forces fighting on the Kalana Steppes. The Skilla unit is also rumored to be stationed at Sachana Airbase. They are an elite team, highly skilled in anti-aircraft tactics. A head-on confrontation must be avoided at all costs. Therefore, we have devised a plan to penetrate deep into enemy territory and strike while their attention is still focused on the Kalana Steppes. A sweeping radar net lies between here and Sachana Airbase. However, by flying at an altitude of 1,300 feet, you should be able to make it through undetected. A sudden and precise strike on the base will greatly increase our chances of winning without risking a head-on confrontation.
Avoid flying over enemy patrol boats on the river or you'll be spotted. Destroy them before that happens. Also, be sure to find the last 1,300 feet. Keep an eye on your HUD and avoid the enemy radar net. Patrol boats, report. This is Patrol. Nothing out of the ordinary. Radar alert! We picked up a suspicious aircraft. It's all right. Griffith 1 down! Do you read me, Griffith 1? Sir! Avoid flying over enemy patrol boats on the river or you'll be spotted. Destroy them before that happens. Also, be sure to find the last 1,300 feet. Keep an eye on your HUD and avoid the enemy radar net. Patrol boats, report. This is Patrol. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's a quiet night. He'll be done soon. Can't wait till my patrol is over. You can say that again. I'm gonna die of boredom real soon. There's so many boats out of the water, no one could ever slip through. Huh? What's that? What, the enemy? My mistake. It was just a reflection of the tower searchlight on the water. In any case, this really is a great spot. Wish we could do a little fishing on a break. Once the damn Aurelians are taken care of, you can fish all you want. But until then, you'll just have to wait. Crux to Griffith 1. You've cleared the enemy radar net. Now get in there and attack the base. What was that explosion just now? An accident? An enemy attack? I don't know. We're investigating now. Oh, it's a radar. Nothing so far? Nothing on radar. There's no innocent squadron. Scramble! Somebody fight! I don't know. I'm not even sure we're being helicopter unit in now. Hold out until the base has been secured. Griffith 1, begin landing checks. You're cleared to land. Touchdown. 2 miles to touchdown. 1 mile to touchdown. 'You're coming in too fast. Slow down. You're inside minimum vectoring range. Proceed with visual landing.
The surprise attack was a success. Sachana Air Base is back in our hands. Air power from the base will be a vital asset, especially in the battle to retake Griswold. I have the feeling the day of our capital's liberation is not far off. LASAF has taken advantage of Mount Nevera's height and built a large-scale jamming station known as the Nevera Jammer, with enough power to effectively blanket the capital and all surrounding areas. The station is also blocking our ability to observe enemy activity in Montebreeze. Responsibility for taking care of the jamming station before it further interferes with the war effort has fallen into our hands. An array of high-performance SAMs and AA guns provide the Nevera Jammer with a formidable defense. The high-performance SAMs are difficult to avoid, even for the most advanced aircraft. You're done for the second you fly within range. ECM pods are of no use here either. The high-performance AA guns are also capable of shooting bombs and even long-range missiles out of the sky. We must first deal with this threat before we can move in for an attack on the jamming facility itself. Therefore, we must destroy the electric power transmitter that is providing them with energy. The location of this transmitter remains unknown, but a string of old power lines on Mount Nevera may just point the way. The transmitter's power output will be displayed on your HUD. Make sure the power output is at 0 before moving in to attack the jammer.
Pilots, check your plane and prepare for refueling. 1 mile to refueling craft. $500 yards to go. 100 yards to go. Forward. Griffith 1, maintain your current flight path. Perfect, sir. Commencing refueling. We've got severe jamming. Attention! Do you read me? This is Connors. I lost contact for a moment. Any change in the situation? Fly within range of the defense system, and you'll be tracked by a powerful radar. If the enemy gets a lock on you, fly out of there as soon as possible. Can you see some old steel towers? The electric power transmitter should be near the towers.
We've destroyed the Nevera jammer and freed up the airwaves. Now we have a clear view of Griswold and Montebreeze. Emergency transmission. Enemy troops from the Kalana Steppes have invaded Santa Elva and are moving to reclaim the city. The people are in a state of panic. Our supply lines have been cut right under our noses. Signs of enemy movement have been confirmed on other fronts as well. We've succeeded in ending radar interference from Mount Nevera. This has allowed us to get a clear picture of Montebreeze. Laysath forces have produced a new type of weapon and are making preparations to transport it to Griswold. Although the advance unit has already reached the capital, there's still time to stop the backup units.